everybody, thank you so much for joining me for this video. My name's Leanne and I'm in the garden again. I'm going to share my garden tour for the month of July. The bugs are pretty bad right now, so I'm going to do my best to make this short and sweet. Also, don't have my regular tripod, couldn't find it, so this video is going to be a little challenging to make. The leaf-footed stink bugs are upon us, and they are super annoying. Right here, I've got a homestead tomato, which seems to be a determinate variety. I got the seeds for this. I don't think I could really prop this up much better than it already is. I got the seeds for this from a library seed swap. Wow, look at that. It's covered in ants. That's weird. I got the seeds for this tomato variety from a seed swap at the library, and so I didn't have a ton of information on it then, but it's growing like it's growing like a determinate, which means it kind of is more of a bush than a vine, if that makes any sense. So, you know, you've got bush beans and pole beans. Well, indeterminate tomatoes are kind of the pole bean, and the determinate are the bush bean. And I have been, that's covered in bugs. Get out of here. So the leaf-footed stink bugs poke holes with their little proboscis, whatever you call it, butterfly nose, and suck the juices out of the fruit. So that causes the fruit to go bad, often before it ripens all the way. But I've been trying to pick it early with the hope that, ooh, the bugs are so bad. With the hope that I'll get to keep more of it. This is a volunteer cantaloupe that grew from some compost I put in this bed. And so I have no idea what the variety is called or if it crossed with something last year. But it's super exciting because there's a ton of melons on it. I think I counted 6 last time, and since then I've seen a couple more. And the bugs really don't seem to be messing with it. This little bit right here of whatever you call that, damage. Not sure what would have made the damage. Oh, yeah, that's the Mexican bean beetle. So, I can see, I don't see it on there anymore. I must have knocked it off of it when I pulled it off, but the Mexican bean beetle looks like a ladybug, but it's orange and it's a little bit bigger. If I find one, I'll show you guys, but it makes it look like the leaves got hit with buckshot. And we don't want that. But the larvae are like yellow, spiky looking worms. There's another one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 that I've already shown you. And then 5, 6 mosquitoes. 7. This is a San Marzano tomato. Just a classic paste tomato. When you're picking the fruit before it's fully ripe, it helps if you keep the stem attached to it like that, which I have not always been able to do. Sometimes it just doesn't work that way. But, okay, I can do it. Got it. Okay. Where did that other tomato go that I had? Oh, it's in my pocket. This is what the leaf-footed stink bug looks like. They're the worst. Remember the first time I saw bugs like this on a tomato? It freaked me out so bad. I don't know what these are called, but they are babies of something. Cantaloupe over here. We've got that basil plant. This is the large leaf Italian basil. It's so good. I need to come through here and pick some more to dry, but that is the only one I planted on purpose that survived out of 2. This is Swiss chard that's starting to look kind of gross, to be honest. These are Carmen spicy peppers, and I have harvested a few of them while they're green and put them in salsa, and they're really not that spicy at all when they're green. So I just wanted to test it to see if they were going to be ridiculously spicy. So I've got a couple that are changing color down here. This one's rotting. So I'll just pop that one off there and let it be food to the ground. Usually, it probably would be better to have scissors, but alas, I do not. These are my bell peppers, and none of them are getting that big. The way that I like to tell if they're ready is by, like, even if they're this little, sometimes they just aren't gonna get that big unless you're like really paying attention to fertilizing them. There's a lot of peppers on here, they're just not getting that big. I get on this side here. So this one is the largest one, but I like to squeeze the pepper to kind of tell if it's ready. If it's got a lot of give when you squeeze it, that kind of tells you that the walls aren't that thick. So that's my indicator. That one is not quite ready yet. I see another one that's about the same size on the other side though, so I'm gonna take you over there. Put these here for now. I got these plants from a nursery. Oh man, I forget what it was called. I think Carolina Gardens. It was a couple hours from here. Okay, so this one feels a little firmer, but not quite same with that one. I'm pretty absent-minded when it comes to the garden. I don't like to grow things that need a lot of care. And if I find that a variety that I picked does need a lot of care, it's kind of just the survival of the fittest, because I don't have the time to devote to something that like that. Here's some more of those little black bugs. Get out of here. So you see this color, you might not be able to tell on the camera very well, but this is lighter in color than this one. And that's my indicator for the banana peppers. What is that? I don't know what those are. It looks gross. So I pickle these, or I just eat them fresh. I will get a basket. I just performed surgery on this plant. This is a tiger melon plant. It had a bunch of melons on it, but they all got infested with worms, and you don't want to eat that. Right, for this one, I just pruned it back really, really good in hopes to get just a little bit more out of it before it dies for the season. And I think I'll plant some more cucumber seeds here in a bit. But this is my Armenian yard-long cucumber. I have 2 plants over this trellis, and it was the last one to succumb to the bugs and the downy mildew. And I have some, it looks pretty sad. I think I missed pruning part of it. I must have clipped this piece somewhere and just looked very wilty, so be gone with you. But yeah, so this variety, Armenian yard-long cucumber, great variety, still tastes good in the heat. And yeah, I will always grow this one. I think I want to try this variety called Silver Slicer next year. Down this way is my paste tomato row, which I have not pruned at all. And it's just now starting to ripen some of its fruit. I haven't seen a ton of mildew or like spotting virus, or whatever you call it. I don't know if that's what blight is or not, but I know the tomatoes get like spotted and yellow leaves and stuff. So I have not been seeing it on these plants, even though I've really not pruned them back at all. Oh, you're not supposed to prune determinants the same way that you prune indeterminants. Because if they're like a bush bean, they'll have just like one flush of production and then they'll be done. And that's kind of how these are. So you don't want to prune any of that back, because then you might not get as much. So I see a couple in here trying to turn red that I'm going to pick, but they don't look like the healthiest tomatoes I've ever grown because they've got this leaf curl going on. But they don't look like the sickest tomatoes I've ever grown either. I had a volunteer spaghetti squash decide to grow amongst some of the tomatoes, and I just decided to let it. Okay, so over here I've got a couple Dr. Witchy's tomatoes growing amongst my volunteer spaghetti squash. And this is how tomato plants would grow in the wild. They would just kind of sprawl along the ground, and wherever the stem touched the dirt, start putting roots down in the soil. I had some extra that I could just kind of experiment with and see what would happen. As you can see, I have not weeded. Most of the spaghetti squash that I've been seeing have been getting infested with the worms. So I'll probably come in one of these days and just pull the whole plant out and give it to the chickens. This is one of those varieties. Like the plant overall, like it looks okay. It doesn't look like super sick, but I haven't harvested any of the fruit for myself, which is a bummer. It's a good size one. I'm gonna be picking you in a couple of days. So you're starting to change color. I got the babies in the garden now. They're very cute. They've been getting out and foraging around, and they're too little to really cause too much damage, so I'm not really worried about it. It's just maybe like another week and they'll be too big to fit through the slots of this thing. Yeah. Oh, okay. Anyways, I have, I believe, 14 in here, plus a bonus one that I got for free that's going to join the flock. The plan is to take a rooster and maybe 2 hens from these and save them to add to the flock because they're a dual purpose bird and I can save the eggs. And I have this experiment in mind to try to raise my next round of meat birds from eggs on my own. So yeah, maybe if I can get a couple more dual purpose hens and just know that the rooster is a dual purpose bird, so the hens, doesn't matter which eggs I save from them, they'll be a little bit bigger than like a regular laying hen anyways. So this will be a fun little experiment. I have an incubator and the kids love to watch them hatch and everything. I love to watch them hatch. It's so fun. Put them out here and they instantly started to forage. Very cute. I do want to get a different type of waterer though, because this one seems to, I think I need to hang it up. This one seems to not let any water out. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's the same as this one. I'm enjoying having the birds in the garden. It's nice. They're doing what I wanted with the scratching around and foraging, and they're getting more area ready for me to have beds next year. Yes, I'm trying to see. Okay. This is a female blossom, and you see that little stuff on the tip of it? That tells me there's a worm inside of that. So that's not gonna get pollinated that most likely will fall off before it even opens up. And that's what's been happening with all of them. So I've got Long Island cheese pumpkins over here. And then this section was butternut squash, but I think the Long Island cheese is like going that way, this way, that way, and over here. I'm pretty sure the yellowing leaves in this area is the butternut squash. The bugs started to attack that one first. Okay. And then weeds. Volunteer sunflower. Volunteer basil. That's going flower. Oh, there's a spider on there. I'm not going to touch that. This is the start of another bed. And I got the cardboard going and it's all underneath that. So, I mean, I am going to put in more of these log beds. It's just going to wait for this pumpkin to be done, which is probably not going to be till like November. Because that's when the frost is. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. I think I showed a clip of this in the beginning already, but that's another female blossom. This one looks fine. This variety is called Sheradale, which will produce dusty blue pumpkins. So we'll see. This one started to get infested with the vine borers pretty quickly too, but it seems to be fighting back and just kind of putting roots down in other places to combat the vine borer strike. Yeah, I'm not going to walk in there too far because I'm not wearing high boots or anything. These flowers are all volunteer. They're so pretty. It's the pumpkin patch from a different angle. I had the most success growing squash the year that I grew marigolds with it. And so I have all these volunteer marigolds that I decided to let grow up with the weeds and see as the pumpkin grows amongst the marigolds if that helps some of those female blossoms get pollinated. Bed needs to be weeded really badly, but it is my oregano bed. And I have some yarrow over there too. And in previous videos, if you watch those, this side had a national pickling cucumber. And I literally harvested like 5 of those. And every other one of them, it produced a lot of pickles. Very productive plant. But the bugs loved it. I did not really harvest much from it at all. And this is doing exactly what I hoped it would do. This is a watermelon plant. It's literally one watermelon plant. And it is veining all over the place, cascading out of this bed. All the way down here. Just noticed this guy just now. There's a little watermelon right there. These guys are kind of following me, and that's kind of cute. They're going to be in my freezer in a couple months, so I need to not let myself get attached to them. Okay, maybe those will be the ones that I save. This she's overgrown her support here. She's going to need to go up a size. Maybe more of a double D. Same with this one. This one's about caught up with the other one. And I'm thinking this bed, the soil in this bed is going to be better than where this was growing last year. I had the same variety growing out there. I really didn't do any fertilizing. It was just planted in a pile of wood chips that had been breaking down for forever. So we'll see. I remember this watermelon being delicious, but it didn't get much bigger than this. So we shall see. It has been literally a week and a half since I noticed this thing pollinate, and it has gotten this big that quickly. So I'm thinking that's gonna get real big. And this bamboo, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe the bamboo is not gonna be strong enough. I'll have to like get a ladder out here and prop it up, which would be really funny to me. Here's my peach trees. This one's the bigger one. Got another one over there. I'm going to be pruning these back in the fall. I didn't get any peaches off of them this year because the bugs made them all fall off. This is the elderberry bush or tree or hedge, whatever you want to call it. This is native to North America, and which is really cool. I love adding things like that to my garden. I got this from friends from my church, and I just love that. I love getting plants as gifts, especially if they come from someone else's garden. It's just so special. Back here is my blackberry corner, and I noticed it just before I started this video, and it looks way more impressive to me than it did. It's still not that impressive, but it looks better than it did the last time I was back here. Oh, this cane wasn't even here last time I remember looking at this. And so we've got this one. We've got one going up there, and that's the only one that has berries on it. And then I got another one going that way, and that kind of like goes up and then down. It looks like, and then we got another one coming towards us. So yeah, my plan for the fall is for this corner to clear all the weeds out, try to get this landscape timber out of here, and then put a really good layer of cardboard and then pine needles to keep the weeds down, because that's what prohibits me from really being back here and taking care of that, because the weeds are just so aggressive that I don't want to be back there. This is overgrown, but there is a pit dug right here that I plan to plant my rose bush that's in a pot over this way. Ah, so lovely. These blueberries are so dark blue. This is probably going to be about the last of them. The birds will probably get the rest of these. Maybe the chickens. But they're like black. That's amazing. Oops. Dropped one. Don't want that one to go to waste. There's a few over here. Oh, that one's no good. Mush. Melons from this angle. I have not done a lot to maintain these blueberry bushes either. They're not hooked up to the irrigation like most everything else. These two raised beds aren't either. Neither are the peach trees. Peach trees, I think the roots are deep enough to be fine. But the blueberry bushes, I think, kind of suffered for it. Their berries didn't get very big. Next year, my hope is to have them attached to the irrigation. And I am going to have a couple of bags of worm castings just stocked up so that every couple weeks or every week I could give each one of them a scoop to help them along, because I love blueberries. I really want to end up having enough to put them up in the freezer, make jams, make stuff, bake stuff with blueberries in them. That's the goal. Okay, the plan for next year's garden. My hope is to finish this third bed and then to add 3 more log line beds and then 4 more on this side, making a total of 12. May not have them all filled with dirt by next year, but I'll at least have the cardboard and the logs laid down. It's just expensive to fill with like good quality dirt, and you can get free manure from some places, but it's just the amount of work it takes to do that. I'd rather just get some quality compost or garden soil from somewhere and have them deliver it. I'm gonna do 12 of these and hopefully have at least 4 more of them filled up, because right, I filled up 4 this year, and then I'll have 4 more next year, and then just keep adding to it. And then those log line beds will go up to these 2 middle metal beds, and past that is just going to be a mini orchard. I already have the 2 peach trees I showed you. I've got the blueberry bushes. I plan to maybe put a couple more peach trees over here, maybe pawpaw. I'm not decided yet. Pawpaws, I heard, take a really long time, so I'm not sure I'm going to do that, but it's a native North American plant, so that'd be kind of fun. But yeah, here's the garden in all its glory, mostly overgrown, but still producing, which I love. It's been too hot the past couple of days, weeks, honestly, to really come out here and enjoy it. There's been like a random cool day if we get a storm. In the afternoon, that's like actually tolerable to be out here, but for the most part, I really haven't been spending a bunch of time out here because it's been so hot. And as you can see, it is needing me because the weeds are growing up pretty bad. And I come out into the garden in the mornings to feed the chickens, and that's about it. And harvest the tomatoes. Peek at the babies. I'm actually gonna fill their food up here real quick. I've been just filling that thing up all the way and then not needing to fill it up every day. It's good for like a day or 2 for them. But I think they're all out. I'll tell you a little story about these San Marzano tomatoes really quick as I am about to say goodbye and end this video. Just to leave this on a note of hopefulness, these plants took over a month to look any different from the day I planted them. They were so stunted and shocked by the transplant. And a little bit of context, if this is your first video you're watching of mine, this bed in particular, I should have done a different way. The way that I did it was I let the weeds grow up real tall, and then I weed-eated it down. I put horse manure that I got for free on it, and then I covered it in cardboard. And then I put the compost that I bought on top of that, which didn't leave a lot of depth for the roots to go in right away. The cardboard was still too stiff, and these tomatoes suffered. They couldn't really get their footing. They couldn't get their roots down right away because there was like just a couple of inches of soil before the cardboard. But after like a month and a half, they really started to explode with growth. And so I want you to know, if you're just getting into gardening and things seem dire, don't give up. Because I was basically planning on that these plants would not do anything, but I just got busy and I left them, and here they are. They are huge. They have lots of tomatoes on them, and I'm gonna have a harvest of tomatoes because I just kind of left it to watch. I didn't even really maintain hope, honestly. I just left it to watch and learn. And I knew that no matter what, I'd at least learn something. If I didn't harvest something, I learned something. So that's the mindset you need to have when you're going to be gardening, is to not give up. And no matter what, you're going to learn something. With that, guys, thank you so much for letting me gush to you about my garden. Happy gardening.